Hello, this is Jess from Phoenix Coaching, and today I'm going to be talking about a very important topic, and that's sleep. So, sleep is one of the chief ways in which our body grows and repairs itself, and how we get our rest and relaxation, which is extremely important. Whenever we have times of activity, we need to balance these times of activity out with periods of inactivity, and sleep is one of the primary ways in which we do this. So, some of the reasons why to sleep, we've got energy increases through the system's ability to be able to recuperate. And you see here parasympathetic, which means growth and repair. So parasympathetic is one side of the nervous system. There's two sides. There's the sympathetic branch, which is the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. So these functions go through all throughout the body and do various different things, such as within the heart, the fight or flight response will speed the heart up. The rest and digest parasympathetic response will slow it down. In the case of the eyes, sympathetic will cause the pupils to shut, whereas parasympathetic will cause the pupils to open to let light in. So within this parasympathetic state is where we get our growth, rest and recovery. So like I said, it's important to have both. So at times where we are in a fight or flight, such as a hard exercise session, that needs to be then balanced out through a time of rest. Also parasympathetic state, the rest and digest part of it, means that when we're able to come in deeper into this relaxed state, we can digest our food a lot easier and then get the nutrient uptake from our food is a lot more effective. So sleep also helps to regulate our hormonal system. A regulated hormonal system is a happy hormonal system that has lots of energy, as well as good health benefits to it, which is tied into the parasympathetic, sympathetic, because when we're too much in a stressed state, we release the hormone cortisol, which then kind of jacks up the system and can actually be a cause of us not being able to sleep as well. We also enjoy better mental clarity and performance through being well rested, lower stress on the system. When we sleep enough, we get good fat loss benefits as well as muscle gain. Again, due to this rest and digest response, it's very, very difficult to lose fat or gain muscle if the system is constantly turned on without any rest. And one of the best things about it is sleep is free. So one of the best things we can do for our health and one of our core foundations, and we don't need to pay for it. So what you'll need to pay for if you don't get enough sleep though is over the course of a lifetime, you're likely to have a shorter lifespan because of the wear and tear on the body caused from not getting enough rest and repair. Increased pain in the body through not being able to sleep. Again, our growth and repair is during our sleep. So for anyone who's looking to overcome any pain challenges or sports injuries, sleep is an essential part of getting things to a better place, because without it, the system isn't able to knit itself back together. Poor focus and attention, heightened inflammation, which leads to a greater risk of disease. So inflammation in the body can be described as the body kind of running too hot or too fast or too much in the go phase, the action phase, which again is generally the fight or flight response. So sleep balances out this response by flipping the nervous system into the more restful state, so that we lower inflammation on the body. So inflammation is the precursor to so many diseases, like diabetes being one of them. So anything that will lower inflammation will help to improve health challenges and also prevent health challenges from occurring in the first place. Then we've got healthcare is needed over time if we are in a bad place with our health. So it's time, energy and money spent going to see health practitioners and doctors if you're not able to get enough sleep. And workplace areas. So they found that many workplace injuries and accidents, industrial accidents, as well as accidents at home, can often be attributed partially, if not wholly, to a lack of sleep. So there's lots of really important reasons as why to prioritise our sleep. So to share some methods that and concepts of how you can improve your sleep, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sun first off, and the sun's biological link to our system in something called a circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm, a few years ago, I think it was 2016, they won the Nobel Prize for their work on circadian rhythms. So it's basically our biological link to the sun. The sun drives all of the hormonal clocks throughout our system for ourselves, as well as the plants and animals, as well as the seasons throughout our planet. So you could say that the sun dictates so much of the life on Earth, because without the sun, life wouldn't be possible at all. So the sun gives our system various different signals. So you can think of light a little bit like information. So the sun is giving very specific information to the system at very specific times of the day, which then elicits specific responses in the system. So when we get up in the morning, our eyes sense the sunlight, and then this tells the adrenal glands to wake up, start producing cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and this gives us our get up and go. Then as it goes throughout the day, also the sun emits more blue light in the morning and more light in the red spectrum in the afternoon, and then when it goes down, no light. So as the sun goes through the sky throughout the day, its effect on the system changes, and the stress response lowers to enable sleep hormones such as melatonin to start to increase into the evening. So ideally we get this get up and go in the morning, then as the afternoon goes along, things tail off, and then we get into the evening and the sleep hormones start building because the sun's gone down. Now, this is ideal, but for most people this isn't happening like that. So for most people, we're surrounded by artificial light, so maybe laptop screens, phone screens in the evening and throughout the day, as well as lights throughout the house or lights throughout the city coming in through the windows. These are all giving the blue light from these devices and light from outside is giving the body signals that the sun is still up, because the body is getting the stimulus of blue light, which confuses the system. So on some level, the body believes that the sun is still up. So the consequences of that is that the body isn't able to wind down, and these sleep hormones, the melatonin, production gets suppressed, because this is the function of one of the functions of the blue light within the body is to suppress melatonin, because the only time that in nature or naturally that we would experience blue light is first thing in the morning. But in our modern world, we're experiencing it all the time. So first bit of advice would be to black out your room as much as you possibly can. If it's like a cave, then that's the best case scenario. And you may find that this makes a big difference to things. You get deeper sleep because there's not this surface level, low surface level stimulus from the light keeping you awake. Secondly, is to the time of your bed, the time you get to sleep is quite important. So aiming to get to bed 10 to 10:30 each night is going to be optimum to be more in line with the sun's circadian rhythm. Now, they say we should sleep more in winter and less in summer, because this goes in line with the sun, which through my own personal experimentation holds true. I find that energy levels are different between the summer and winter, so you can do different practices based on the season to keep energy levels up. So, for example, in the winter, it's a great practice to start taking cold showers and cold baths, because this offsets the lack of sunlight in the winter through various different chemical processes. So, but generally speaking, 10 to 10:30. So this is going to bring you more in line with the sun's rhythm. So I remember I had a client once. She was sleeping a good solid 8 hours a night, and she was going to bed at 1 a.m. and getting up at 9 a.m. the next day. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm like always tired." It was really strange. And what we spoke about was this circadian rhythm. So we got her sleeping. We reduced things by 15 minutes at a time, 15 minutes for 3 days. So get her down to 12:45, 12:30, and then eventually getting it lower and lower. So we brought it back to 10. And I spoke to her about a month later. I was like, "Oh, how are things with your sleep?" She's like, "Oh, I started going to bed at 9 because it's great because I'm going to bed at 9 and now I'm getting up at 5. I'm getting loads of stuff done in the morning, but also I feel much better." And she found it really, really surprising that even though she was still getting 8 hours sleep, by reducing by going to bed earlier, she was actually able to get better rested sleep and had more energy output throughout the day. So next tip is to create a dimmed environment in the evening. Limit screen time on laptops, phones. Now what you can get is a pair of blue light blocking glasses. I should have got mine for this video actually, but they're upstairs. So these blue light blocking glasses help to block out the interfering light from the screens and phones. So it's not 100%, but it does help a lot. So you can get very varying different degrees of blue light blocking glasses, like really deep orange gives you the most shielding, and then you can get like lighter orange or clear if you wanted to use them throughout the day. It's generally quite a good practice to use them when you're working at, especially at a laptop, because the blue light can affect our eyes throughout the day. Then watching stimulants, so try not to drink caffeine, coffees, or anything else stimulating after around noon. Especially caffeine, the half-life of caffeine is 12 hours, so if you 6 hours. So if you drink 100 milligrams of coffee at 12 noon, at 6 p.m. you've still got 50 milligrams of that coffee in your system. At 6 hours later, you've still got 25 milligrams of caffeine within your system, which is going to have a stimulating effect on the system. This also goes for stimulating situations in terms of stressful situations. So being sure that any arguments are resolved, or that you try your best not to bring any situations that might have happened at work home. And if you have, doing what you can to relax and let go of that situation in the evening can be really, really helpful for getting to bed and getting a good night's sleep. Anything on your mind can potentially affect things. So this is where the next tip of journaling can be really, really useful. So getting all your stuff out on paper before sleep, just so it's offloaded. Next suggestion is if you're waking up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., usually with sweats, then you can consider that there may be a potential parasite infection within the gut, because parasites, some of them have like an opposite circadian rhythm to humans. So when we're asleep, they're awake doing their thing. So don't worry if parasite sounds pretty scary. We've all got parasites to a degree, but some help us, some don't. So 1 to 3 a.m. with sweats, and that might be a shout. If that's something that you'd like to talk about, then feel free to reach out and contact us at Phoenix Coaching. Then last tips on the physical: you can wear an eye mask; it can be helpful, and supplementation can be helpful. So magnesium, zinc, sometimes coenzyme Q10, and also melatonin can be really, really useful for helping you sleep. So I hope this video has been really useful for you. If you do have any challenges with your sleep, please feel free to reach out to Phoenix Coaching, and we can get back to you with some suggestions. We also do work with people to help them improve their sleep, as well as numerous other health factors. So if that's something of use, then please get in touch. And thanks for watching, and have a nice night's sleep.